Good morning, students. Today I am going to start the new lesson of the 8th standard, the lesson number 4. The title of this lesson is An Autobiography. Okay. Do you know what is mean by the autobiography? There is a biography and there is an autobiography. There are two things. They will ask you, send me your biodata, biography, autobiography, data. All these are the things words used in the computer. Okay. This I have written a few things about this. Okay, let me start with this. Okay, this lesson speaks about this great woman, Yamuna Joshi. Later she was called, after the marriage she was called as Anandi. That is the thing. What is that now? There are a few questions before starting the lesson that asked us here. Few questions. What do you call this type of writing? They say these are the same and the great women of India. We know about them because somebody had written their life about the stories. So before knowing that, we want to know what is that autobiography. Autobiography is nothing but a life history written by oneself or the himself. Okay. I myself writing my life history, when I was born, where I was born, who is my parent, where I did my education, primary education, where I did my higher education, after the education, where I worked, what work I was doing, what happened in the whole of my life till my death is written about me. Okay, I cannot write about my death. See? Okay, about me, if I write myself, then that is called as the autobiography. But biography is that somebody writes about my history. That is called biography. Understood? Autobiography, that writing by himself. The biography is somebody writing one's life story, that is the history. Clear? And this is how things. There is a difference between autobiography oneself. Okay, if you understand these two words, is very important. Okay, writing the history by himself, by autobiography. Writing the history by somebody or someone else is called as a biography. Okay, let us go through the lesson carefully. I will read it and explain to you. An autobiography is the story of the person's life written by the person himself. Very clear? While a biography is the story of a person, life written by somebody else. Now we will read the autobiography of Anandi, that is called Yamuna Joshi. Okay, let's see. Anandi Gopal, the first Indian woman to receive the education abroad, in foreign country, not in India, that is abroad, and to gain a medical degree. It means she is a doctor. How did she achieve this? These are the few questions before going to the lesson. How did she achieve this about her doctorate? What were the obstacles faced by her during her education of lifetime? What made her desire to become a doctor? What is that instinct her? What is that made her to learn this doctorate, to learn the medicine? Okay. Read her autobiography to get the answer of these questions. Okay. Let us now go through the autobiography of Anandi Gopal. Her original name was Yamuna Joshi. Okay. Let us see about her Yamuna Gopal. Her husband name was Gopal. Okay, let's see. She was born in the 31st March in the year 1865. Okay. Her name was Yamuna Joshi in Kalyan, a small town near Mumbai, where Kalyan is a village. That is the city is called Mumbai. Okay. that is in Mumbai. My family used to be the landlords in the town, but had lost their riches. You know, the landlords, they have a lot of land. Okay, they are called the landlords. Okay, you know that because you have a lot of land also. ರೈತರಿಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಹೊಲ ಇದೆ, ಆಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ. That is what called people are the landlords. Okay. Then when I was a 9-year-old, I was married and my name was changed to Anandi Gopal. And she got married at the age of husband name she got married to a Gopal. Okay, Gopal Rao. Okay, let's see about what happens. Before my marriage, I could barely read Marathi. And why? Here you have to know, before her marriage, she could not read hardly. She says hardly means barely. Okay, very few things she could read properly in Marathi. Why? And this is the Kalyan, is a place of Marathi speaking area. It is not a fully Hindi. Now today, if you go to Bombay also, Bombay people mostly they don't speak much about the Hindi. Hindi, you go to the north and the Nasik and little further. Maharashtra, yes, but the Maharashtra people mostly, most of the area they speak Marathi. Okay, from Kolhapur it starts till the Mumbai they speak Marathi. Okay, there are Marathi education like we have Kannada schools, they have the Marathi schools. And this Yamuna was studied. It means it's very clear there was no proper scope for the girl child to study those days. You remember this Indian has lot of problem for the girls to give education. Now you see in our village also we have the same problem. Okay. And last week I was speaking with the one in front of my house. There is a Muslim house. Okay, I was just speaking to them. My daughter, we don't have that much idea to teach, to send her to the school. Okay, if she goes to the 10th standard is enough. But my son, second son, they have to study well. Why? Somewhat they are going to get married to somebody now. So this is the idea they have. So we have seen the girl child is not educated well those days. Okay. But what happened? This was the very difficult of those days. Husband did not even speak directly to his wife in the front of the others. In the beginning, my husband tried to enroll me into the missionary school, but it did not work out. We had to move from Kalyan to Aluga to Kolhapur, and finally to Kolkata, where he was free to teach her. After my rapid progress, my husband was insistent that I should acquire a higher education. See, that is called a rapid progress. That is mean called rapids. Continuous, you can see the progress. That some children they have the ability to learn more very fast, very quickly. That is called rapid, fast. Okay. In those days, female doctors were not able, even in our country, many women reluctant to approach a male doctor. See, there was a problem, no, and from the olden days, because the girl could not show her problem of the body to a male doctor, and they were not ready to go to the hospital at all. They are ashamed. Okay, and recently last month I was in the hospital actually to see in front of the doctor there is no male and a female. There is no shame at all. Okay, whole body is naked put in front of them, and that is the exact fact of our life. Okay, and olden days it was not that, because there was no absolutely there was no female doctor. Now it is not that. Now we have veterinary doctors are different. We have a lady doctors. Girl can go to the lady doctor to show her problems. tell her problem, show her problems of the body. No? Now see the science, so everybody is educated. Men, women, everybody. There is no caste problem, there is no race problem. Still we have. That is our foolishness. Okay. I would suffer a lot as a result. I myself had lost my infant son, small son, when I was 14. See, when she was in the age of 14, she loses her son because she could not show the problem to the doctor. On the contrary, what happened? She lost her son. So I decided that I would like to be a doctor. Most of the time this happens. Whatever we have undergone through the problems, and last time I went to give a blood in the blood bank in Gangavati, and they have opened the blood bank because her son, their son was died with blood count, less blood count. It is called pellets. Okay, and from that day his father thought, no, I have to open a blood bank so that many can be saved, giving them replacing the blood for the body. See, there is a certain aim for the people if they undergo through some problems and they start doing a lot of hard work to achieve that. And this is the lady, because she lost her son and she thought, I have to be a doctor. I have to, should not be like this problem in the society. My husband tried very hard to get me admitted to some university in America. Mrs. Carpenters of Rosella. Carpenters, that is a surname, it is not a work. Okay, Carpenter of Rosella, New Jersey in America. By chance came to know my story, and I was moved by the correspondence and wrote me a letter. You can do your education. I can correspondence, one helps you to do the things. Okay, you study outside as a correspondent, somebody helps you to study and you go and write the exam. That is called a correspondency. Okay, not that you don't go to the main source. Somebody is doing for you something else. Okay, but you study, you yourself study, not that somebody studies for you. Okay, correspondence. She offered to host me in the USA since Gopal Rao wasn't able to get a job there. And this lady was ready to host me, to welcome me to her house, okay, as a guest, so that I can study. Being there in the USA, I can study. Now he is called as a paying guest. Now this is the new trend we have come. That without paying, that is called hosting somebody. This is new trend of the PGBC, you know. We pay our monthly payment, how much is 4,000, 5,000. They provide everything, food, shelter, everything they provide. Okay. We decided that I should leave for America alone. We had to face a lot of opposition and criticism to the extent of people throwing the stone and cow dung at us. Already that was the thing. One girl is going to study abroad. It means she has left everything with you. Shameless girl, shameless woman they used to think. And the mentality of the people was so cheap. Okay, they were ready to stone them. They never think of. There was never a thought of second thought to think what is right, what is wrong. See the situation of this lady here. She was thrown the stone, the cow dung, Shagni. Finally, after many trials, difficulties, and the tribulations, sufferings, in June 1883, remember the date, okay, 1883, in June 1883, I reached America and met the carpenter Auntie Mausi. They call Mausi, carpenter Mausi. Okay, Mausi is called as a Chikkama. Actually, it is the Konkani, the Marathi word. The Mausi means Chikkama, that is the auntie, aunt. Okay, when she reached America, June 1883. In America, there were many things that I thought were strange, and many that were carpenters found strange about me. Okay, for example, the carpenters found it odd that I wouldn't sit down on the chair when Mr. Carpenter was in the room. As was the custom in India, then I was astonished that they didn't take a bath every day. And see this funny tradition of India. On the contrary, on the other side also there are funny this. Okay. In India, we actually, the women or the children, small people, they don't sit in front of their elders on the chair. No, they have to sit on the ground. Even though somebody comes in my house, you are a teacher, how can I sit in front of you? They say. You see in the class, what do we do? You sit and I stand. Yes or no? And this is the stupid idea of the Indians we have. Okay. And every day, in India we have it every day, especially this high caste people, they have this idea. Actually it's good, I'm not telling that. In case if nothing happens, if you don't do these traditions, no? Every day that you have to take a bath. In foreign country, I don't think that. They take a bath, not that they don't take a bath. They take. Okay, if there is a time, yes, after the heavy work, if the one day you have not gone anywhere to work, you simply are sitting in the house. Is it that you need to take a bath? Why you take a bath? Because your body sweats in outside the sun, your body sweats. And you see that good tradition, if you like it, I don't know. According to me, that is a good. Okay. According to me, that is a good. The taking bath in the evening is the best, is a good health. Good for health. And there is a good habit, I would say, because whole day you sweat, especially here we are the farmers. From morning till we are under the sun, we get a sweat. And with that sweat, just wash your face and the leg and hand and go to bed. The whole day, whole night, the germs are in your body. And morning you get up and take a bath, and you, after refreshing, you go outside for the sun, which is good. Taking bath in the morning or in the evening, if you are working outside. If the carpenter, if the mason is working in the dust, in the cement, say whole day the whole body is dusted. It's good now if he takes a bath in the evening. See, this is what things we never agree for certain things. Okay, that is black to us. That is not a main problem here. Okay, but they are telling this is the problem she went through. Carpenter mouth and the other problems. Okay, other things like my clothes and my not eating non-vegetarian food was also very strange for them and the Indians. And this lady was not eating the non-vegetarian, was not eating the meat. She was a vegetarian. Okay, and the dress of an Indian. Okay, olden days this is saris. Chudidaras are the later traditions. Okay, ghagra and the gloves. No, see, olden days this dress codes are different from nowadays. Now everybody wears jeans. And America from the beginning they had this short middies coat. No saris at all in America those days. Now these Indians are settled there. They have introduced them the sari and all. Now it is custom everywhere. Okay, and this was the second shop which she had. Carpenter Maushi took care of me as if I were her own daughter. She cried like a child when she left me at the women's college in Philadelphia. Remember where she studied? Philadelphia. She studied at the Philadelphia in America. The superintendent and the secretary of the college were very kind. Superintendent and the secretary were very kind of that college. They were inspired that I had come to study from so far away, bearing poverty and opposition from my people. They know the mentality of the Indians. Now they know this problem because India is a poor country and they know that we are the poor people, and they knowing that they were very kind to us, she says. Okay. They even offered me a scholarship of $600 for the 3 years. Okay. Older days that was the less. Now $600 is nothing. Older days that was too much. $6,600. Okay, she got the scholarship for the 3 years. The room that was provided to me at the college didn't have a proper fireplace. Okay, the fireplace emitted a lot of smoke when it lit, so it was a choice between the smoke and cold. I tried to get another place, but that was not possible, as no one was ready to rent a place to a brown. And in America there was one more problem. This was the race problem. Huh? Only white people are accepted there. It's like an Indian color, a brown color, or a black. They are not accepted. This was a problem, big problem of America, the brown. And because of that, Obama fights against this. He is Red Indian. He is called. Okay, and he became the president of America, and this whole idea changed. Okay, now also this is the problem of Trump has gone down to from the election. See? Okay, that's not our problem. Let's go continue. What is this? What happened here? Hindu girl trying to be a doctor. After about 2 years in that place, it had started having a constant temperature of a cough. Okay, after 2 years she had because the weather is not suiting her, she was having the continuous constant temperature, having the fever and the cough. Well, living in an alien culture, weather was always going to a difficult, and I was ready to face it. This is true. You are going to the different place to adjust there. You require a lot of immune power, and that you have to adjust according to that. My health was severely affected by my stay there. After around 2 years in USA, I had sudden spell when I used to feel very faint and get high temperature. She used to get fainted, faint. Okay, suddenly lose the balance of the body and falling down, and that is with the high temperature, with the fever. The cough never left me. By the end of the 3 years, my condition had worsened. In the 3 years, her condition became the worst. I somehow scraped through the final exams. Something I wrote. Somewhat I passed through the final exams. This is at the convocation, and there is every degrees after the degree they give you convocation certificate. That is called where my husband was present. It was announced that I was the first woman doctor of India and got a study ovation for what I was one of the most rewarding moments of my life. And standing ovation she gets. Now in the our TV programs, when you sing well, Ram Saleka, all these people they give you a standing ovation. It means you are the best. Okay, this gesture of the language. It is called the standing ovation. Okay, where I reached. Day by day, I grew worse and nothing worked. My husband then admitted me to the women's hospital in Philadelphia, and then her husband admitted her to the hospital in Philadelphia where she was studying. I was then diagnosed as having tuberculosis, but the disease had not yet reached my lungs. Tuberculosis, this is the disease, was because of the cold, and that is turned later into asthma. And it becomes the asthma, there is no cure for that. Till the death you have to die. Okay, just they will give you the medicine just to suppress, depress that medicine. Okay, otherwise you get asthma. Okay, if my mobile gets off, then I will stop the video and see you in the next. Okay, my health was so severe. Admitted to the Philadelphia. I was then diagnosed as having the tuberculosis, but the disease haven't yet reached my lungs. The doctor advised me to go back to India, so they sent me back. Okay, finished. Her return to India. The journey back home took a further tour on the Anandi by health as a doctor on the ship refused to treat a brown woman On the reaching India, she stayed at her cousin's place in Pune to receive the treatment from the renowned Ayurvedic specialist. He, however, refused to treat her as according to him she had crossed the boundaries of the society. See how this was bad things happens in the life. Finally, on February 26, 1887, frustrated that all other achievements were in vain, Anandi Bai succumbed to her disease at the age of 22. She was mourned throughout India. Her ashes were sent to the Mrs. Carpenter, who wanted to place them in a family cemetery in Poughkeepsie. Okay. See, after a doctorate, she did not give a service to in the society, but she struggled and achieved something. And these efforts, however, were not in vain. To this day, she is an inspiration to Indian girls from all walks of life. She enables us to believe that whatever our situation and the circumstances, nobody's dreams are unachievable, and that each of us has the potential to achieve whether we wish to. Today, the Maharashtra government has the fellowship in her name for a young woman working on the women's health. See, after her achievements, she is the first woman to achieve the doctorate. After her achievement, even this government has approved her after her death. Many times we say, no, our good works only can be seen after our death. When we are alive, nobody speaks about good about us. This is what the fate of our life. What to do? We think, when we are good, nobody appreciates us. When you are no more in the world, people appreciates us. And the same thing, this Anandi Bai, Anandi Gopal was not even given her practiced medicine in Indian society. Okay, because he had a tuberculosis disease which was constantly, and nobody was ready to help her, and because she has broken the law of the Indian law, which was a woman not supposed to study, and even these Pune people, the neighbors, they could not treat her well, and this is how the tragedy ends up with Anandi. Let us see about the question answer in the next video. Thank you. See you soon.